Continuation of lesson 1.4, operations with fractions, and in this section of the lesson we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. So here we have 1/4 and 1/3, and I'm going to use this box here to help represent that situation. So we'll take a look at this first one, 1/4. If we look at this box, notice it has 4 columns. So I'm going to go ahead and just outline the 4 columns here in green. So there's our 4 columns. Now 1/4 would represent one of these 4 columns. So I'm going to shade this first column green. So this is one of the 4 columns. Then we'll take a look at the fraction 1/3. Now you'll notice this box has 3 rows. So I'm going to go ahead and outline all 3 rows. So we have row 1, 2, and 3. Since we have 1/3, we're going to shade one of the rows. I'll shade the top one. So how many total boxes do you see overall? So we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 total boxes. Of those boxes, how many of them are double shaded? In other words, how many of them are shaded both red and green? And we can see it as this one box in the top corner. And so when we're multiplying fractions, we multiply the tops together and we multiply the bottoms. So 1 times 1 is just 1, and 4 times 3 is 12. And that's what this diagram represents. The 1 is this one double shaded box, and the 12 is the total number of boxes. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So for the next problem, we have 2/3 times 4/5. Now in this one, I'm going to go ahead and just use the same method that we did, and then we'll talk about how the boxes represent it. Here we're going to have 2 times 4, which is going to give us 8. And here we have 3 times 5, which is going to give us 15. And this is going to be our answer. Now we're going to go ahead and represent that once again with our boxes. So here we have a 3 as our denominator, and we can see we have 3 rows. So I'm going to go ahead and box 3 rows. Now unlike the other problem, this has a numerator not just 1 but 2. So of these 3 rows, we need to shade 2 of them. So I'm going to shade the top 2 rows. All right, and then for the other fraction, we have 4/5. So if we look, we can see there are 5 columns. So here's column 1, column 2, 3, 4, and 5. And since our fraction is 4/5, we need to shade 4 of the 5 columns. So I'm going to shade the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. And then very similarly, we're going to ask how many total boxes there are. Well, if it's a 3 by 5, 3 times 5 is 15, there are 15 boxes here total. Of these 15, how many are shaded both red and green? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? These 8 are shaded both. These are only shaded green. These are only shaded red, and that one's not shaded at all. So these 8 are the double shaded. And now we can see the 8/15. Now, when we start getting numbers like mixed numbers here, so we have 4.5 and 2 1/5. Well, this is going to be a much bigger fraction we're going to deal with. So in order to do this problem, we're going to need to convert these to improper fractions. So I want you to consider what we have here. We have 4 and 1/2. That means if we use the pie or pizza analogy, we'll do pizzas. So let's say we have 4 full pizzas, and then we have half a pizza. So the first question is, if I took these 4 pizzas and I cut them each in half, how many pieces would I have? So I'm going to take these 4, I'm going to cut them in half, And we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And then we have one other piece. And when we convert mixed to improper, essentially what we're doing is we're taking the denominator, multiplying it to the whole number. The 2 times 4 gives us the 8 pieces here, and then we add the top number. So really it would just be an 8 plus that 1. 8 from the 4 pizzas, and then the extra slice because we have half a pizza. And so that would really be 9 out of 2. So we have 9 halves total. If we look at the next one, we have 2 1/5, so that's 2 more pizzas, but in this case, the pizzas are cut into 5 slices. So we'll draw 5 slices for each one. Now, how many total slices between these two pizzas? Well, there's 5 here, there's 5 here, so that's 10. So for this one, you're doing 5 times 2 gives you a 10, and then you're going to add that numerator here because there's one other piece, a 1/5 piece here. So we can see there are a total of 11 pieces. And these pieces are all 1/5 of a pizza. So that's really what we're seeing there when we look at that type of problem. So I'm going to go ahead and put the multiplication symbol back in. And when we multiply fractions, we just multiply across, top to top, bottom to bottom. 9 times 11, that is 99. 2 times 5, that is 10. So this is the answer in improper form. So notice the top is bigger than the bottom. And so we will have to convert this back to a mixed number. Now, since this is your denominator, for these pizzas now, 10 slices makes a full pizza. And we have 99 slices. Almost 100 slices, very close, right? We almost have 10 pizzas. If one pizza's 10 slices, if we had 100 slices, that would be 10 pizzas, but we're 1 short. So if you think about it, the first pizza, the first 10, that's 1 pizza. The next 10, so 20 slices is 2 pizzas, 30 is 3, 40 slices is 4 pizzas, so on and so forth. So when we get to 90 slices, that's 9 pizzas. So our whole number is 9. And then we would still have 9 pieces left over. That is our final answer. All right, so the last thing that I would have you do is go ahead and use your calculator to verify these answers. So go ahead and remember we use the fraction form. So we use the n over d. Remember the n over d key. That allows you to put in fractions just in regular form here. This will give you a box up top and a box on the bottom. Now if you do the second button and then press the n over d button, that is going to give you a mixed fraction form. So you can put your whole number in the front and then your numerator and denominator. So for the third question here, like the 4 1/2, you would put the 4 and then the 1/2 here. And so just a reminder how to do that. The last part is when doing your converting, remember on your calculator you have an n over d key that we've been using. Next to it is like an N10, I forget what's on here, but this key here, above it in green, it says n over d, and then it has a little triangle going in both directions, and then it has a u, n over d. This right here, this gets you your conversion. So when you put this in your calculator, it's going to give you a 99 over 10 as your answer. To convert that, you're going to have to hit the second button, and then you're going to have to hit this key so it activates what's above it in green. So it'll put this statement after this answer. Hit enter and it'll convert it to your 9 and 9/10. All right, that concludes the lesson on multiplying fractions.